But if Sue was just another hiker, why did no one remember seeing her that day? I'm Kim, and this is Hung Channel.
Do you know the story of the little girl in red, captured on an old family video in Taiwan? In 1998, a family went hiking on Dakeng Mountain. But when they replayed the footage, they saw someone walking behind them, someone no one remembered. By the end of this story, you may never look at a mountain trail the same way again. Chapter 1. The Family Video on Dakeng Mountain. One day in 1998, at Dakeng Scenic Area in Taichung, Taiwan, the Liu family went hiking near the wind-moving rock. Someone picked up a V8 camcorder and recorded the family walking along the mountain trail. Back then, video footage was nothing like today's high definition. The image was slightly blurred, the colors were dull, and the camera shook gently with each step. In the footage, everyone moved along the mountain path, just like any ordinary family trip. No one felt that anything was unusual, until later, when they replayed the video. At the very back of the hiking group, there was suddenly one extra person. It was a small figure dressed in red. She followed behind the group, not far away. Yet, she did not seem to be one of the family members. The most unsettling thing was that, through the blurred image quality, her face did not look like that of an ordinary little girl. Some said it looked like an old person's face. Some said her features were distorted. Others said it did not look like a normal human expression at all. According to those who were present at the time, no one remembered ever seeing this girl. If she really was just a passerby, why was she following so closely behind the group? If she was not a passerby, then what was she? A family video that was originally meant to preserve happy memories was transformed into one of Taiwan's most famous supernatural images. And from that day onward, the little girl in red was left inside the collective fear of the Taiwanese people. Chapter 2. The Panic After the Video Aired. This V8 footage was later sent to the paranormal television program Shen Chu Gui Mo and broadcast on TV. In 1990s, Taiwan, supernatural television shows were extremely popular. At that time, the internet was not as developed as it is today, and television was still the main channel through which the public received strange tales and unusual stories. So when the little girl in red appeared in the footage, the impact was far greater than that of an online short video today. Because what the audience saw was not a ghost story told by someone's mouth. It was a piece of footage. She was truly there in the image. She was walking behind the group. She did not wave at the camera. She did not explain who she was. She simply appeared there in silence, as if she had always belonged to that mountain. Rumors began to spread. Some said that not long after the outing, one of the people who had gone on the trip passed away. And so among the public, people began to connect the video with ideas such as being followed, being taken as a replacement, and mountain spirits. The most terrifying part of an urban legend is that it strikes exactly where the human heart is most afraid. A family trip, an ordinary recording, a little girl in red whom no one recognized, and then a sudden rumor of death. When these elements are placed together, they are enough to make all of Taiwan begin to believe. On that day, up on Dakeng Mountain, perhaps something really had followed them down from the mountain. Chapter 3. Was she a ghost or a Mosina? The little girl in red has never had a clear identity. If she was a ghost, why would she appear in the mountains? If she was a child, why was her face so strange? If she was only a passerby, why has no one over all these years truly come forward to prove that they were the person in the footage? Later, more and more people began linking her to the Mô-sîn-á of Taiwanese folk legend. In Taiwanese folklore, Mô-sîn-á are not exactly the same as ghosts. They are more like spirits or strange entities of the mountains, valleys, bamboo forests, and thick mist. Some say they are small in size. Sometimes they resemble children, sometimes monkeys. Sometimes they wear red clothes, red hats, or even have red eyes. They do not necessarily kill people directly, but they enjoy teasing, confusing, and leading people away. In many legends, people who are led away by Mosina suddenly lose their way on mountain paths they should know well. Even if they have only left the group for a few minutes, they can no longer find the way back. When they are eventually found, some are dazed and confused. Some say they cannot remember what happened, and some even describe mud, grass, and earthworms as chicken legs or delicious food. This is a kind of mountain fear. Taiwanese folklorists have pointed out that Mosina can be understood as Taiwan's native mountain and water spirits. They can transform, hide themselves, and play tricks on people. And the little girl in red is believed to be some ancient presence from within the mountains. Chapter 4. The Taboos of Taiwan's Mountains. In Taiwanese folk belief, mountains have invisible boundaries, and there are places that cannot be approached uncasually. Many elders remind children that when they enter the mountains, they should not randomly call out someone's full name, should not turn around immediately when they hear someone calling, should not casually answer unfamiliar voices, and should never follow strangers away. On the surface, these taboos may sound like superstition, but behind them there is actually something very practical. Weather in mountain areas changes quickly. The terrain is complicated, and once a person leaves the original road, they may become lost. Children and elderly people, in particular, have weaker physical stamina and are more likely to suffer accidents in the mountains. But folk legends do not explain everything with only the two words "getting lost." People will ask, why did he suddenly fail to recognize the way on a familiar path? Why, when he was found, did it seem as if he had gone through a very long dream? And so, Mosina became one kind of explanation. It represents the uncontrollable side of the mountains and forests. It also represents the fear humans face when they leave the boundaries of civilization and confront nature once again. When we have lived in the city for too long, we become used to every place having street lights, signals, maps, and names. But once we step into the mountains, everything becomes different. When the mist rises, a familiar road becomes strange. When the wind passes through the trees, it sounds as if someone is calling from far away. And the little girl in red is the most terrifying shape that this fear can take. Chapter 5. It was not only the little girl in red. Across Taiwan, there have long been many stories of disappearances connected to Mosina. Some reports mention that in 2003, an elderly woman surnamed Shen went to a mountain area in Sisi to sweep a grave. She walked ahead for just 2 minutes, but after her family parked the car, they could no longer find her. Following folk methods, her family beat gongs and drums in the mountain area and called out her name, hoping to call her back. But several days later, she was still found to have sadly passed away. In 2014, another disappearance involving an elderly woman took place in Hualien. Surveillance footage captured her walking toward an industrial road at an unusually fast speed, and her family believed that this did not match her normal physical ability. A few days later, when she was found, she said that a little girl in red had led her there, and that at night, elderly people had kept her company and talked with her. In 2015, in Yanqiao, Kaohsiung, an elderly woman surnamed Kay also disappeared after going down to the fields. Police and rescue personnel were mobilized to search for her. Several days later, she was found near a cemetery in the Tianliao mountain area. Her body was weak, yet she had no obvious external injuries, and she said that someone had taken her away to sleep and had even prepared the food for her to eat. These stories may not prove that Mô-sîn-á truly exist, but they all share the same structure. A person leaves a familiar environment, disappears suddenly within a short period of time, and when found, cannot clearly explain what happened. In the end, folk belief used Mô-sîn-á to explain this incomprehensible fear. Chapter 6. The fear left behind by the image. The reason The Little Girl in Red became a classic is because it has no answer. Some say she was simply another hiker, distorted by the low-quality V8 footage. Some say this was the effect of a supernatural television program, where the show enlarged a blurred image and made viewers see the horror they imagined. Others believe that she really was a Mosina, a modern image of some ancient spirit from Taiwan's mountains and forests. But no matter what the truth may be, the little girl in red has already become a symbol. She represents humanity's fear of the unknown. She represents humanity's fear of the mountains. We think of mountains as nothing more than places for travel, hiking, and sightseeing. But in many ancient legends, mountains have always been entrances to another world. She also represents one of the deepest uneasinesses within Taiwanese folklore. Beyond civilization, there are still some things we cannot understand, cannot control, and that do not need to explain themselves to us. So years later, when people once again see that blurred V8 footage, the same question remains. If she was only a passerby, why did no one remember her? If she really was a Mosina, then deep within Taiwan's mountain and forests, are there still more red figures standing at the very back of the group, silently watching us? The next time you walk into the mountains, if you hear someone calling you from behind, do not turn around too quickly.
I'm Kim. Please subscribe, like, and share. And stay with me. You will never face the dark unknown.